People often ask me why I mix coconut and MCT oil and just don't use one or the other. Well, back in 2008, my husband Steve responded dramatically just to coconut oil in the beginning. But I soon learned that MCT oil, which is extracted from coconut oil, actually raises ketone levels higher, and thought that that would be important to helping him improve. So I started mixing coconut and MCT oil. I always felt there might be something else in coconut oil that was also beneficial beyond just raising ketones. What I have learned is that coconut oil is half lauric acid, and lauric acid itself induces the production of ketones directly in astrocytes, which nourish other brain cells. This has been shown in the lab and needs to be proven that this happens in living beings. But in the meantime, I am assuming that it is most likely true that astrocytes produce ketones when they're exposed to lauric acid from coconut oil. Also, lauric acid is very antimicrobial, and there is a lot of information out there strongly suggesting that certain types of infections may be triggers or causes of Alzheimer's disease. And lauric acid happens to kill many different types of bacteria, viruses, fungus such as Candida, and protozoa. So I think it is well worth continuing coconut oil for these reasons. MCT oil, most of the products out there do not contain much, if any, lauric acid. There are a couple of products now that are high in lauric acid. They're liquid coconut cooking oils, such as Carrington Farms, which is produced in the Philippines. And I happen to use that one a lot, quite, by myself for cooking. So in the meantime, I still like to add MCT oil because there are other properties of certain medium chain triglycerides. C8 is considered to be the most ketogenic, so that means it raises ketone levels the highest. C10, it turns out, is an anticonvulsant, has anticonvulsant type properties, which could be important to people that are suffering from seizures, for example. And they could use it along with a ketogenic diet to try to control their seizures better. So I started mixing MCT oil and coconut oil for Steve back in 2008 and found that a ratio of 4 parts MCT to 3 parts coconut oil was liquid at room temperature. It achieved our goals of helping Steve improve by providing him all the benefits of coconut and MCT oil. Also found that we could use it in almost any food, cold or warm. It's a great salad dressing, for example. It works well in coffee or tea and soups or chilies. Mixing it into yogurt or cottage cheese or ricotta works very well. So there are very many different uses for this mixture. I also added soy lecithin because it contains important phospholipids that the brain needs. The most important of these is phosphatidylcholine. And so very recently, I was approached by the Prove It company to help develop a product based on what I was giving Steve. And so I am pleased to tell you that there is a product called MCT 143 available from Prove It that is a mixture of MCT oil, 4 parts to 3 parts coconut oil, and this is organic virgin coconut oil. And instead of soy lecithin, we have added a more efficient, concentrated, purified form of phosphatidylcholine. So phosphatidylcholine is in every cell membrane in the body, and it's very abundant in the cell membranes in the brain. It helps transport omega-3 fatty acids into the brain and brain cells. And the choline part of this molecule becomes part of the neurotransmitter acetylcholine that helps with memory in the brain, as well as many other functions of that important neurotransmitter. So MCT 143 is packaged in small sachets of 15 mLs or 1 tablespoon that I find extremely convenient for taking with me when I travel or if I go to a restaurant. And they would be also very useful for people, for example, who are in assisted living, or a relative with a memory problem who lives far from you but still trying to do it on their own, that type of use. So you can make it yourself, and there is a recipe in my diet Q&A on the website, and you could add soy lecithin to that, maybe a tablespoon per quart. Or if you want a little bit more convenience, you can purchase MCT 143 from Prove It. So those are my rationales for why I mix MCT and coconut oil.